All right, I'm sorry, guys. Don't know why this thing is locked on, like, vertical orientation. Let me get you locked in there. So this one will have to go vertical-wise, but it's all right. We've got more tutorials on how to do it the other way around. Let's go like this and like that. Get the other two cameras going. All right. Right on, everybody. Welcome in. It's Friday Night Freestyle. We're going to go absolutely fantastically fun today. And we're going to be doing a really cool sort of a commission piece on our Easter scene, right? Somebody has commissioned an Easter scene. And we're going to get down and paint it. I'll show you exactly how to do it step by step, exactly how I would paint this scene. So we've already taken our black gesso and kind of created this little shape over here. We used one of our cake pans, one of the old Paint with Josh cake pans, just like this guy, to make the shape of our door. And then we move it over a little bit and make another little circle. And then you just don't cover in that spot. Super easy. Right? So tell me where you're watching from, guys. What's your favorite sandwich? We're going to have a good time today. Now, we're going to go sort of sunset-y sky. And if I was going to do a sunset, I'd want a little bit of my cadmium yellow onto my brush. Now, our canvas is wet with the liquid clear along the bottom, and then it's got the liquid white along the top. So the entire canvas, wet, ready to go. We'll take a little bit of our wet oil paint over here, pull it down, and let's say we get a little yellowy sunset off in the distance. And then, just from there, why don't we go into a little darker yellow, go from our cad yellow to our yellow ochre. That'll add a little touch into the sky, just change up the flavor, like Bob used to say a little bit. Just a little touch. The more yellow ochre you put, the deeper, darker yellow it will be. All right, let's go out into our crimson-y color. Just a little Bob Ross crimson onto the brush, out here into the day. And you can see just how easily it spreads because it's got that liquid white all across the canvas, right? If you don't have that liquid white, man, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to be trying to spread all this thick paint across a dry canvas. And let me just tell you from experience, it doesn't work. We're going to go straight into our phthalo blue. You guys are going to tell me where you're watching from. What's your favorite sandwiches? And remember, what's your favorite sandwich t-shirts are now available in my Etsy store. If you like those, or you like that saying that I say all the time. We've got what's your favorite t-shirt? What's your favorite sandwich t-shirts in the Etsy store? So go check it out. Over here, clean on our brush. Now, we've got all of these wicked cool colors onto the canvas, but they look a little blah, right? We need to dry off our brush and then go back and blend everything out. Turn it into a really, really nice little sunset sky. Now, anytime you're using blue, remember, you can't get too close to your yellow, or what happens, class? What happens when we get too close to yellow with our blue color? Does anyone know? Do you remember from first grade? What happens when you mix blue and yellow? Might not be the look you're going for. Not on this canvas, anyway. We've done green sky. Oh, I just gave it away. Oh, dang. We've done green skies in the past, but not on this canvas. Nice bright yellow, kind of fading into some orangey, pinky color, and then we'll go put our clouds over that. Now, without even washing the brush, out here, and start to mix it, but try to stay out of the yellow zone. Just try to get into that little crimson-y area and just blend it right away. Bang, right? Disappear. Soft little thing. This side's gonna be a lot harder to do that because there's a lot more blue paint on this side, right? So we're gonna start to blend very softly, letting that blue stretch and mix in with that crimson-y, pinky color. Not trying to get too close to our yellow, and the softer and softer and softer. The more we get over to the side towards our bright spot, the softer we're touching the canvas. Over here, you can push on it a lot harder and start to blend all those little swipes and all that stuff away. But the blue wants to come cover our entire sky, guys. It really does. It wants to take over the entire thing, so don't let it happen. And we're going to come back in here with a fresh, clean, dry brush. Back into our light spot first, then out into these little guys right around the soft edges. Don't go back into your bright area after you get out here, though, that's for sure. Boom! Gorgeous little blue sky. I love it. You can even use one little touch of our Bob Ross black up here in the top, because I gotta have a deeper, darker spot way out here in the night. Just blend it out very softly and easily. Now remember, that brush had all that paint on it from when we were blending before, so it's harder to blend when you've got too much paint on your brush. Go back to the brush that doesn't have as much paint on it. Blend it nice and soft. You can literally, depending on your pressure and how much paint you got on your brush, go side to side across your whole thing and not even touch it. Honestly. Now let's get in, bring in our old Paint with Josh, well, old brand new Paint with Josh fan brush. We're going to be releasing these guys. I'm going to email the company and tell them, you know what, go ahead with the set. It's ready to rock and roll. Now remember, when we're doing white canvases versus black canvases, we need much more paint on the brush. So what if, right around our little edge from where our sun meets our darker sky, what if we came in and just popped in a whole bunch of white? Poosh! Pow! Wherever it wants to be. It'll grow upwards and away. All that stuff everywhere, right? Just everywhere. Kind of in between all those colors. Come back in, onto our brush. A little 1-inch brush like that. You know what? Let's use the Paint with Josh 1-inch brush. Paint with Josh 1-inch brush coming in. And then we're going to come in and start to mix it. And mix it and mix it and mix it. The more that we mix, the more it's going to intermix with those colors out there. Right? So we don't want to mix it so much that we lose all the white. And then all of a sudden it's just sky color out there, right? You want to mix it until you like it. Kind of leaving a few little areas here and there and here, all over the place, a little bit brighter, a little darker. Sometimes you can mix it a bit more and just blend it straight into your sky, right? All up to us, how we want it to look. Go back. How do you like it? I like making little circles, little mini circles, right? Counterclockwise, little mini circles. And then we start to judge how bright do you want it to be, how thick do you want it to be, right? Because it doesn't have to be the thickest thing all the time, honestly. A little bit more of our white paint onto the brush. Let's come up into here. Just pop in one little thing down there. Bang! One little bit. Kind of connects it, makes it come around. Back to the 1-inch Paint with Josh brush. Mix this guy down so softly. Right? And the white and the yellow are very, very, very bright, so it's kind of hard to tell where your cloud sort of ends. And I like that. I don't need it to be so, right, just in our faces all the time. And you know what we're going to do? Because we haven't done one in a while, let's throw an old contrail out there. I love this sky. And anytime I really like a sky, we got to take an old contrail and just out there in the night, right? Even back in his day, contrails in the sky. Look it up. Book of Enoch, telling you. Out here, over there, right? Very cool. Very cool little scene looking so far. Let's get our brushes cleaned off, guys. You gotta tell me where you're watching from. What's your favorite sandwich? And let's get going. Let's grab our Paint with Josh flat brush. Right? Get the flat brush so it's very thin, very flat, as the name says. And we need to mix up a bit of our Paint with Josh plaque. So we'll grab our Paint with Josh palette knife, grab this guy up over here, over there. Mix up just a little bit of plaque for now. We're only going to use it on our little faraway crosses. Now I'm going to take a little bit of our brown, mix that into the bottom pile of my plaque so it's not all the same color. Right? It's much darker up here. A little bit more of that brown color down in here. And then one little squeeb of white. Just the littlest bit. Now remember, when we put it up onto our canvas, it's going to go brighter than it is on our palette because we've got that liquid white paint that's constantly wanting to brighten up all of our colors. Let's go into this guy, a little bit, down on the brush. Don't need to climb all the way up the bristles, just out here on the end. Very short, small-like, right? Maybe off in the distance. We had just a couple crosses. Now, with this Paint with Josh flat brush, you can be very sharp, or if you push on it a bit harder, it can be a bit harder. You know what I mean? You'll get a lot thicker of a trunk of a tree or your cross or whatever it is that we're painting. All right, maybe this guy back here. We're going to go on a slightly different angle, right? So they're not all the same. They're not placed, they're not just a bunch of T's right against each other. And this guy a little smaller, and then the opposite angle. So if we went up, let's go down this way, right? That way they all look like they're a little bit different. Now we've got to go back and hide those guys in a bit of grassy hill, at least their base back here. So let's get a bit of our green down onto our Paint with Josh brush. Our green, flip it over, load both sides. You can get it very, very, very tight in there. A little of our cad yellow, just a little bit. So we don't need it to be overly bright back there. And then we're going to come back up here, go up into our crosses and start laying down where we want our bit of faraway little hill. It's going to disappear back behind all of our stuff anyway. Right, so we get to decide. You really only need to put about an inch, maybe 2 inches over here on the one side, maybe an inch and a half. Just on this one side, let it feed down, feed down, feed down, feed down. Right, just letting it get lighter. It's a little bit more textured where we have it up here. And then when we go back, kind of mush over it, we can sort of put those little guys wherever we want. Right, change the little shape of our hill even a little less thick. Very cool. Now we're going to go back and cover those and push them further off in the distance with a bit of our Paint with Josh plaque. Right? Everybody knows it's Easter in July or June or wherever, what time it is. Whatever month it is anyway. It's Easter in June. Thanks, YTA Richardson. Appreciate you, bro. Now we're going to come back in with our rocks and we're going to go cover over certain bits of our grass so we can literally remove it. There's not a whole lot of paint up there, barely any little bit. Right? Now we need to mix up our plaque. Decide where our rocks are going to be, so we can mix all this light color, or lighter color, back into our plaque mix just like this. And then we'll go decide where do we want to have our rock, sort of extend up, because our bushes are going to be going even higher than our rocks are. All right, so let's just get a little of that darkness. We're just going to mush it straight onto the canvas, literally smushing it on. You can almost see it. All right, smush it on. Pull it back away from our door, because there were not out here anyway. It was not really a perfect door, not in my scene. Never a perfect door. So we're just kind of mushing it backwards, taking a little bit of that stuff back away from our guy. Being a little bit more careful, and you know what we're going to do here? Let's come in with a brand new brush, get a bit of our cad yellow, our brightest yellow we can possibly get, and let's start to light up this scene inside. And then we can go back and cover over it. Be very pretty, right? Super bright out here, over there, back inside, a little bit of our brownery and our rocks will take over all the stuff that we don't want to see, right? You can even have some of your light color out here extending into your ground, right? Little things. Now, we've got to go make our rocky door look a little more messed up, right? So we're going to come in a little, over to the edge, covering over little things, nothing too crazy, little bits. Not everything has to be the same in my book anyway. It's a jagged old looking door out there, right? Very cool. Very cute little thing out there. Here, now remember, we're going to need just a little bit of space right there. It's going to be the side, like the inside of our door that we'll highlight a little differently. Everything else will be exterior rocks. Let's say all that darkness, the deep dark color was down there. And then we'll go back and light up. I'll show you exactly what we look like. Since we need to make up some more plaque anyway, we'll go with a bit of our yellow ochre, a bit of our brown. We'll throw it right down here. And then if we light these guys up just gorgeously enough, right, we can drag it around the side. It will literally look like the rocks are being lit up from our light inside. It's going to be very cool. Very cool. They can get deeper and darker as they go away. Right? The more that we intermix with our plaque color, the more deeper and darker it will go. So you can decide how bright you want it to be. Now, versus the inside, we'll go a little bit more of our yellow ochre to make it a brighter color. Right? We'll go over here and just have that one bit on the inside be very bright. Right? Very bright compared to our exterior bit. Well, you can tell we've got a little bit of light coming in from this guy right there. And we'll have a little bit darker color literally everywhere else. Very cool. Now, we've got to go mix up a bunch more of our plaque colors. So, you got to tell me what 3 colors make up Paint with Josh plaque. Let me know in the comments. We're going to need it for our bushes. We're going to need it for all sorts of stuff. So, make up a big old pile if you're painting along today. And tell me where you're watching from. What's your favorite sandwiches? Let me know in the comments below. This is a very thick scene. Right? It takes a lot of dark color, a lot of texture on all these rocks and different things, right? And then we're going to have lots of textured bushes coming in too. Maybe back here we have this straight up little kind of a hidden alcove where Mary might have sat and mourned. Right out there in the night. Maybe we got a couple more bigger guys that come off of this side. Just literally dumping on color where you want it to be. Now I have a seat in my scene that comes out just like that, very flat. We'll put a little bit of our darkness underneath just to help pick up on our highlight color. And I understand it might be a little hard to see as we're all sitting here looking at it right now. I'm about to light it up and show you all these gorgeous little things, right? Our plaque color just to help with our rocky details, and then we'll throw some big old bushes that are gonna hang down over everywhere else. Now, let's clear out a space for our highlight color. Again, a little bit of brown, a little bit of our yellow ochre, maybe a little touch of our cad yellow as well. And we'll blend those guys together. Look at all those colorful streaks all throughout that. You can even get a bit of your darker brown in there too. Look at all those, just wicked cool. All those neat little things. Now let's pick up out here. Again, let's just start dragging over wherever we had that light. Right? It's continuing, it's extending. Not every piece is gonna be all colored in exactly the same. You have to leave the little gaps down in there. What if we had just a bit of that back wall falling backwards, right? Wherever we want it to be. Doesn't have to be the same color because it's further away. And the more that you mix it with that Paint with Josh plaque, the more it's going to dull itself down, right? So we'll come back here, maybe along our seat. Nice and straight. Boom, boom, boom. Look at that. It's a little place where someone could sit and mourn right out here in the day. Now, right underneath the guy, very small, very light, little straight pull downs. And you can imagine there's a little seat back there that Mary could have rested on as she come down here to mourn. Very cool. Right? Little thing, all just from pulling our knife in different directions. That's literally all you gotta do. Pull it in different directions, have some fun. Come out here, light up a little bit of these guys, and then came down a different direction. Lighting up little things, not everything has to be as bright all the way to the back. Just want to grab little pieces of brightness. And remember, we're going to dump down so much texture on top of all of this other texture. And it's not even going to be funny. It's going to look like a Bob Ross paint by the time we get done. Very cool. Those rocky bits inside, just instantly creating little things that we want to see, right? Now, let's go into our brown, because we got to get our brown undercolor down onto the base where we would walk out. Right, which is why, it doesn't matter if you got a little bit of yellow in there, it's going to help brighten it up. Over here, over there, a little bit inside the opening. Can we just see it? Isn't that so simple and easy? Back to a little bit of our white. Let's go back over this guy. Especially from our little opening space right here, and brighten up that area. Over here, drag it down, filling up our little sandy base. Then we'll go back and throw some rocks over the top of that guy. Oh, isn't that the coolest? Isn't it just the coolest? Just the coolest. Get a little bit of our 2 bits of browns on the brush, same time. Let's go over this guy, and if you can allow some of that color to shine through, be a little bit different, you won't have to go back and highlight it, right? This is why we leave that ring out there, so you won't have to go back and highlight the thing. This guy is going to fade back into the darkness. Alright, we're going to droop down some flowers over the top of it so you don't have to paint the whole thing. Same thing right here. Doesn't have to be a perfect circle. I'm not trying to paint the whole smash. And if you can get that paint to spread and reveal that uncovered spot, boom. Now we got our area, our little side piece that we don't have to do much to. Brighten up a little bit and run our brush through it. Over there. Just get that one side bright. Right where it's creeping out of the door. And then we can even drag some of that color around and have it blend in with our brown. I'll show you. Just like this, just like that. Right, we'll take our brush back around the guy and just blend it. Real hard, lots of pressure, lots of reps, right? Lots of pressure, lots of reps. Look at that thing. Oh, it's not the prettiest. It's just the prettiest little thing. The more pressure, the more soft you can blend it out. Just like that. Now, what if we got a big old bit of plaque? And let's go just around this guy, just very lightly. I just want to see what a little bit of our texture would look like on that guy. A little brown, a little of our yellow ochre. Just kind of experimenting a little bit here. Very light colored. We can do that. Let's take our plaque. Let's go back around. And just kind of mushing along this guy so we'll have a little bit of texture on him as well. Just very flat, mushing it, mushing it, mushing it. very flat against the canvas and depositing and smushing on all that darkness, okay? Now, let's go back with a bit of our brightness. Go the same thing, just kind of over the side until it looks how we want it to look, right? A little bit more of our brown, a little bit more of our cad yellow, or yellow ochre, excuse me, just to make that kind of brownish, lightish color. Grab off of this guy. You can drag around. That's kind of cool, right? The cool thing is, watch this, you don't like how it looks? Right? Because it doesn't have to look perfect. Come around here, right up to the edge. That dark color right there on the edge. Boom, 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 boom. Right? Darken it back down. Whatever you want it to look like. Honestly, it doesn't have to look like anything except for what you say. You are the architect. You get to decide and then tell us what it's supposed to be, what it's supposed to look like, this, that, and the other. Drag it around, drag it around, drag it around. Help makes it look a little bit more round when you get those rounded strokes on there. Now, let's come back in. We're going to need a little bit more of our Paint with Josh plaques, so we might as well just grab all of this paint that we've got on our palette practically and mix up a big old amount of deep dark color. Now, what are those 3 deep dark colors, guys, that we use to make up Paint with Josh plaque? You gotta let me know in the comments right now. Just let me know. And if you like this scene, you may be asking about prints or posters or whatever. I do have them in my Etsy store at paintwithjosh.etsy.com. You can grab them up and nab them up. And there's no limit to how many you can get. They're already there. They're ready to be sent out to you folks. Oh, that's cool. All right, now, since we've got our Paint with Josh plaque mix, let's go in and let's get our Bob Ross brush this time because it makes a lot of goopy, crazy shapes. We're going to come in here into our plaque, back away into the corner. Let's get all these little things that start popping up into the sky and drooping down onto our canvas. This is why we don't need to have so much paint on top of our rolling door or anything, because we're going to light it up with all these colorful little flowery bits, and they can droop down as far as they want. Now, over here, obviously we're not going to allow them to droop down so far because we've sort of prepped all this stuff underneath, right? We can get out there. Over here, over there, little bits of bush that hang on that are growing along the top of this guy, up into your sunset sky, over your grass instead of over the rocks, right? If you go down over all those thick rocks, ooh, it's gonna be hard because you got way too much paint. See how this little bit pushed all that grass way off in the distance? You don't even need to see the whole thing. You come up like this. Wherever you want it to be. It doesn't have to be anywhere. This little bit out there like that. Now, wash off our brush. We'll go back, we'll highlight some of these things, and then we'll go throw our little stone steps in. I love the stone steps, one of my favorite parts. One of my favorite parts about the whole scene. You can tell we painted this one about 6, 7 times already. Each time it looks more gorgeouser than ever. Oh, I like it. Ooh, I like it, I like it, I like it. I like it, guys. All right, so here we go. We got to highlight all of our little pretty little bushies and different things without covering everything, right? It's our goal. We have to leave some of that Paint with Josh plaque mix underneath those guys. So let's get into our green first. A little bit of our green and our liquid white, so it'll help it come off of the brush with the easiest touch, right? Just barely. Little things. Small little baby things, right? Tapping in. We don't need it to be too bright, especially all the way down here away from our sunlight. Nothing's going to be catching so much light. Right? A little bit more of our greenery at the base. Kind of drooping, kind of, hanging out at the bottom where our little bits of our brown are. Nothing too crazy. Don't try to go over and away from your plaque. I'm telling you, don't do that, guys. Stick over that plaque. It's not going to attach itself the same if you went down onto your other bits. Right? We want it onto that little bit of texture, so we get these little bits of green at the base of our bushes. That's all we need. Now, let's come out with our flowers and stuff. All the pretty colors and everything. What color are we going to go for first? That's my question, guys. Okay, let's get over here. Again, we're going to grab a little bit of our liquid white. We wash off the brush, and then we go back and do the exact same thing that we did before. Let's go into our crimson paint from Meaden with the liquid white. Is going to be just the prettiest thing you've ever done seen. Oh, just fantastic. Just fantastic. Group them down just a little. Not trying to cover all of our green. That's why we put it down there. We don't want to cover it. That's kind of like our stopping point. Like, hey, no further. You shall not pass. A little bit into our cad yellow with that same liquid white. Same brush, just kind of dabbed it off. We really need to clean every bit. A couple little yellowy flowers. Now, not all of the yellow flowers are going to all be in the same spot. Let's come above our little plaque mix, right? Above it. So you get some of those guys that are real bright, and they start to dull themselves back down. It's exactly what happens when you're looking at it in the real world, guys. Now, let's go over into our cad yeller. Love this. It's like a brownish, yellowy, like, just a cool little thing, right? Not every bit's going to be exactly the same. So, don't need it to all be all the same amount of brightness every which where. It's never going to be like that, so don't worry about it. Just alternate and start switching and moving different things. Don't want all of our colors all in the same spot. You know what's really pretty too? We go into a bit of our blue, phthalo blue, and put them back here against these little guys. Droop them down. Right? Again, not trying to cover over all the green bits. You don't have to. Blue ends up looking so gorgeous. I want to do it everywhere, but I know not to. A couple little bits here and there, and droop them down, right? Little places, little things. Now let's get our brush washed off because it's starting to get too many colors all the same on there. We'll end up with a weird, funky looking mix. Just like that. Tell me where you're watching from, guys. What's your favorite sandwich? Thanks for being here, everybody. I love all of yous. I try to come up here 10 times a week. 5 nights a week, 2 times a night, right into our Indian yellow. She gives us a little bit of this orangey color. Ooh. It instantly kind of helps that green lighten up as well as you go down over it. Little bits, little things. Here, there. What do you want it to look like? That's the whole thing, right? What does yours look like? Because I've done it about 6 times. Each time it looks similar, but it's never exactly the same, right? So, yours will never be exactly the same either. And it doesn't have to be. If we all painted the exact same painting, how boring would art be? My goodness. You might see something in your painting that kind of takes you in a different direction versus mine. Totally fine. Go that way, right? I've seen a lot of people where they just do my sky portion and then they change the front. I go, I know what video you watched. I know which one you followed and then where you broke off and went your own direction, which I always encourage too. You don't have to just follow it perfectly all the way around, right? That's boring. Boring, boring, boring sauce. We've got enough of our paint with Josh plaque here. Let's get down on some stones. Right now, right out of our front gate area, our door, we put a little bit of plaque, very flat though. Very flat, right? Maybe only about an inch or so. Maybe less than that, maybe a half inch. And we're gonna go cover the top of it in brown. Our little brown mix, leaving that little space underneath. And the more space that you have, put a little bit of plaque underneath that guy. Now you've got a little lift to your little stone right there. Right? So you can pull it out, just grabbing the base just the smallest bit. And now you've got a little shadow underneath your first little step, right? So again, little paint with Josh plaque, doesn't need to be a lot. So we move our stone over this way. Very flat. Okay, nothing crazy about it. Real flat like. Go back over it with our brown. Right up to the lip. Very soft. Not trying to make it all brown though. That's why you have to have that plaque. Because if you don't have the plaque, then you're not going to have straight down on the front, a little bit, maybe like a 1/4 inch straight down. Right? If you don't have your plaque underneath, your brown will be too bright, right? It's not going to have anything to mix with. So you have to have that plaque. Then you got your brown on the top. Then we come back underneath him and slide out little bits. Doesn't have to try to grab the whole thing. Just get a little piece of it and a little step. with a little shadow underneath him, right? Very cool. Very easy little thing. Blend our little guy back in here. Blend it back in here. We might be able to fit one more little step right here in the front. I'll put a little bit of black right there in the front. A bit of our brown, a bit of our yellow ochre. Rub those guys together like a genie's lamp. And then, bang, right there. Whatever we don't like, or that we missed. A little black section down around the base of this guy first, a little bit taller than everything else. And then we can throw our section of flat where the flat area is going to be, all in that plaque. Back over it with our browns and our yellow mix. Very lightly, just right on the top. Bang! Right, so you got that bigger base to your thing, and then very small, pull that guy out. Light. And you got a little step. Right? Little thing. It's really cool. Very simple little way to do it. We have a neat little step down or step up into the tomb. It's really cool. And it gives you a little bit of depth and distance and all that stuff, right? Really neat looking. So, let's see, guys. All right. I do sell paintings. You can go to paintwithjosh.etsy.com, and that has my originals, and it also has prints of some of the better ones that we've ever done. This included is in one of those prints. So if you're watching over on YouTube, to the person that's asking, you can go check it out, paintwithjosh.etsy.com. So, me, Paint with Josh. paintwithjosh.etsy.com. Head over there and check it out. That's where you can get all of the stuff. I have many different Easter scenes that are available to watch and to purchase. I've got many more scenes on YouTube that you can watch and learn how I did different ones with different colors or different crosses or a different sunset sky. We've got them all over the place. So, paintwithjosh.etsy.com. These ones are available. Unfortunately, you can't get this one because it is already purchased. Now, we've been talking a lot, guys. You've been waiting for it. The Paint with Josh liner brush. The liner brush of all liner brushes. It's very, 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 very thin, very squeezed down, and not as long as Paint with Brams. I know, I said I was going to make it as long, and I tried, but the company just couldn't make it that long, apparently. So I really like how this one came out. Length aside, it's only about a 1/4 inch shorter than Brams. It's fine. I don't have brush envy. But it makes very, very, very small little lines and little accent things, especially when we're doing our little birds. You can go, just make the sharpest, prettiest little thing out there in the day. It's gorgeous. I was making branches with it last night, and I'll be using it again on Monday, and probably every day henceforth until we sell out of the brushes. So, very sharp. It's very much like Bram's brush, just a little small, a little thinner. You know what I mean? You can fit it into thinner places. But don't get me wrong, I love Paint with Bram's brush. Best brush I ever used. Until the Paint with Josh brush came out. No, I'm just kidding. I love Bram. I love Brandy Brams. So, very small, very thin. Make sure you dry it out very well. Otherwise, it's not going to want to play ball for you because of its thinness. Make sure it's dry. Gorgeous. All right. Fantastic, you guys. This one came out amazing. And it was really special circumstance, too. So, really special little circumstance. So, let's see. Are they both available? So, neither of these two paintings are. This one's already purchased by someone else. And this one was already a commission for someone else. But I do have probably 17 original paintings in my store. And then I have over 100 posters of some of my best work that I've ever done, including one of these guys. And I have canvas prints available too. So it'll actually print the scene onto a canvas and then ship it to you in the mail. It's like a copy. It's like a little copy of the original, right? So it'll have all the same, signature on the front, the birds and everything when you do the canvas prints, but it comes from a factory. It doesn't come from me. Right? So let's wash these brushes off, and you guys got to come up with a title for this painting for me because it's a surprise commission, right? The person doesn't know who's getting it. You guys got to help me come up with a name for it, and then we can title it and do all that stuff, and that way we don't have to include them. Since it may or may not be a surprise already. Maybe the surprise has blown, I don't know. We shall see, though. But start typing in titles. What do you think we would name this one? And we'll see what we can do. See what you guys come up with, man. You're very much King Ghosting? King Ghosting? I'm so bad with people's names. It's very bad. Do you ever get inspired by Bob Ross? So, over watching on YouTube, I was inspired by Bob Ross initially. Bob Ross is actually in my family tree. He's my grandpa's 8th cousin, and they're about the same age. Had he not passed away, him and my grandpa would probably still be like chit-chatting and stuff. But I was inspired by him. I found Bob Ross. I didn't watch him as a kid. I found him after losing a family member about 5-6 years ago, and we've been painting now for about 5 years and grown to the biggest, wet-on-wet painter in internet history as of right now. Just as of right now. More followers than anybody else that does what we do anyway. Oh, heck yeah, King Gosti. I'm so bad with names, but heck yeah, thank you. I appreciate you. Modern day Leonardo. I appreciate that. See, everyone calls me the modern day Bob Ross, which is not an insult. It makes me happy. Like, thank you for thinking that my art is as good or better as Bob Ross's is and saying it blows my mind. I love you guys for that. But the modern day Leonardo, that's got a ring to it, guys, doesn't it? Doesn't it have a ring to it? It's just got a ring to it. I like that. I like it. So let's get these guys all cleaned up. Then we're going to go head over and watch the Glitterwick show. If you're watching over on YouTube and you've never watched me before, in between my 2 shows, because I do 2 a night, the second one will just be on TikTok only. But in between those 2, we go over on TikTok and watch Glitterwicks. So like glitter, like you would glitter something, and then a candle wick. They make candles. They're really cool, really fun show. So if you haven't ever seen it, that's where we'll be after this, is in the comments of their stream, watching them go, right? So, oh, you know what? I don't think she's going tonight. Oh, that's right. She has a headache tonight, and she's not going to stream. So never mind. And go check out Glitterwicks anyway. Glitterwicks.com. Go check them out. Awesome candles. Homemade, women-led business right here in Eugene, Oregon. And everything's natural. All the scents are skin safe and everything else. They got more than 70 different scents and colors galore. Just colors galore, guys. So head over there and check them out. Glitterwicks.com. She's my ex-wife. This is why I promote her so much. We're still besties. Don't worry. It's all good. We've got a weird dynamic, but it's all good. All right, we're going to clean off that guy, get this guy all brushed out over here. And then you guys are going to give me a title for this painting so we can title it and get it over in the drying section to get ready to send off to the buyer. All right. Here, there, wash off the little flat, because you got to wash off the flat brush. You're gonna not wash the flat. Okay. Like this scene, guys. What do we got for titles? Somebody hit me with a title. Thanks, DJ. Appreciate you. Dawn of Resurrection. I dig it. Heaven's Kingdom. Empty Tomb or The Lord Has Risen. I dig both of those. Oh, the canvas prints are such good quality. Mark Anderson has some over on Facebook. Mark Anderson is one of my longest time followers, you guys. If you don't already follow Mark Anderson and his art page, get over there and follow it. I'm telling you. Mourning Hills or Mourning Mountain, kind of like mourning, like you would mourn someone, the loss of someone. Dude, DL Vice, I'm assuming is how you say that. Or is it, no, DJ. It's my dyslexia. It's my slidexia, whatever. I'm sorry. I'm so bad with names. But thank you for subscribing over on YouTube. I absolutely love all of you guys. You guys are fantastic. And if you follow me over on TikTok, we'll be back in about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, to do a whole nother thing. Not religiously influenced or anything. Just another painting that we'll come up with off the top of our head. And I've got a couple like old mills to do. I've got a couple little things. So if you like watching some live art, from a guy who won't put you to sleep, you found the right spot. You found the right channel for you. All right, let's pick a title here. Man, maybe from one of our new viewers over here on YouTube. You have to check out my store. Thanks. This is just my on-screen shirt, but I've got many other shirts that aren't so like bow in your face, kind of, you know. But this one's great. It says, I admit it, I watch Josh when I'm supposed to be working. So, yeah. All right, let's pick a title real fast. Somebody, give me a title. I'm going to pick the very first one I see. Very first one, Kingdom's Dawn. That's the title right there. You know what's funny? Everything James came to my class in Tennessee and painted this exact scene with me. Everything James, how you doing, my friend? Kingdom's Dawn. I like that. It's a cool title. Cool title. So, like I said, we don't sell copies of stuff over here unless it's already long done and gone. Then we sell our prints. But when you purchase something and it's during the original the show, you're getting that original painting. So let's come in here. Perfect. Painted on 6/28 of 2024. And we're all going to paintwithjosh.com because it's fantastic over there. Why not? What else are you doing? Head over to paintwithjosh.com and have some fun, man. Finish the tip top of this canvas where it never gets covered by the easel. So, go back, finish it, drag it from both ways, blend it in on this little, like, you know, half-inch surface. But if you don't, it just doesn't look as good. So, it looks messy to me when you leave it unpainted, even around the sides or the top. At least put some color on there and let that sucker dry, man. There we go. Gorgeous. Dig it. You guys are fantastic. You're always fantastic. You can't be anything but fantastic. And I just love you. So, thanks for tuning in to the Paint with Josh show. We're going to get out of here. It's been an awesome time. And make sure you guys go check out my store. Lots of stuff. And most stuff, like print items and stuff, only take 2-3 days. And it'll be in the mail and out towards you, to your address. Paintings take a while longer. Some of the times they take up to 2 weeks, 3 weeks to dry in some cases. And a lot of the paintings that I already have been drying for days and days. So they're about ready to go. If you wanted to get one, chances are it's probably going out the door tomorrow and on its way to you. So head over to paintwithjosh.etsy.com. You guys have all been fantastic. I love you all so much. And until I see you guys again next time, take care. Have the rest of a good day. And pooh-bah! Goodness gracious, what a show.